on their global government summary.
Well, people need to check that out. They need to check out the Case for Global Governance. I encourage them, obviously, to check out Endgame and hopefully my new film that I'm working on day in and day out. I was literally going through footage just before the show, Invisible Empire. People will see the Invisible Empire for the first time, hopefully December 24th. I thank you for the call. Let's go to Bill in Pennsylvania. Bill, you're on the line.
Jason,
yes, sir.
What's up? How you doing?
Good.
Good to hear from you that you got your channel back on with YouTube.
Woo!
Second off, I wanted to end up making a point with the chemtrails. I did a little bit of research, and there's a kind of coincidental thing between the swine flu, the fake hoax that's out there, and...
Sir, 100,000 people apparently have it in the United States. I haven't seen one, but 100,000.
Well, the swine flu, I mean, it could be just a normal flu, whatever they got out there. Needless to say, take a look into chemtrails. Or your plane clouds, plane fluff, whatever they call them. There's a chemical in there, the barium.
Yes.
Take a look at symptoms of barium poisoning. It kind of has a similar match: fatigue, nausea, all that stuff.
Well, it's not healthy if that's what you're saying, and it also weakens your immune system. You know, again, they come out and say it. They say they're going to shoot pollutants into the atmosphere to block the sun. Well, those pollutants will fall to the earth, and it's not even up in the upper atmosphere most of the time. Sometimes they're flying pretty low. You know, again, but some people just say they don't exist, sir. Chemtrails aren't real.
They've been even at the end of it. What actually woke me up to everything was watching the Metallica video, and at the end of it, Nightmare Long.
Dude, I played that on when I was subbing in for Alex Jones probably like 2 months ago. I got so many hate letters from the Christians that I dare play the video. But yeah, it was very interesting because they actually played some news clips at the end. About the chemtrails, and before that, they make it into this like weird sci-fi eugenics story with the Tunguska event and regeneration. In other words, these little underground facilities where they're regenerating a steak and then a dead cat and then of course a human being, and the whole thing becomes this Soviet plot. But the real flip on it is that they're actually saying that the chemtrails are nutritious for you. They're the thing that will solve the problem after they unleash the zombies. In other words, by chemtrailing the United States afterwards, it kills the virus. So, in essence, what I think the message is at the end is the United States is chemtrailing us so we can't get taken over by the Soviets if they seed our clouds with evil zombie juice.
Exactly. They're going to just end up hitting us with this chip. And what if by chance, remember when you guys posted about the solar flares back a while back? About the sun on the cooling cycle, and then it might come back in 2012 for a massive blast on the Earth? Well, think about this. We get that chip. Where's the fail-safe that if the electronics end up failing on, part of the world, who's going to say these people aren't going to survive with this chip in them?
Who knows? But, at the same time, the chip, some of these have little batteries inside them. They actually feed off your body heat. It's very Matrix-esque. And all I know is that I don't want anyone injecting a tracking device inside of me, especially one filled with cyanide. I thank you for the call. Let's go to Robert in Texas. Robert, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason, how's it going, man?
Good, man, good.
Hey, I called you a little while ago, and I actually ended up sending you MySpace about that website, that PowerCastCO.com.
Which one?
PowerCastCO.com.
Okay.
I told you about it, and then I had sent the link to you over MySpace, and I thought I wanted to call in because that kind of relates to this subject, because they had actually on the original front page, they had something on there that said one of the features that their technology has is RFID applications, and they claim to have basically wireless power, which is, up to before I found this website, I thought that that stuff didn't even exist.
Well, not only does it exist, I mean, Tesla actually put together a wireless power plant in the late 1800s. You can look into that.
Yeah, Morgan shut them down.
Yeah, Nikola Tesla is actually a very interesting human being, and his inventions are even more interesting. I encourage people just to read on that history if you don't think technologies have been suppressed. And then on top of that, major cell phone companies are now getting ready to launch the wireless cell phone chargers that harness wireless energy. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the things they advertise. They advertise self-charging batteries, which basically charge from power that's broadcast over a frequency. And they advertise a little RFID thing. And then originally it was really creepy because they had this guy, a soldier, on the front page with his gun and everything, looking really, not good.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't cover this story, and I thank you for the call, Robert. I should in these last final moments, and we'll take a few calls on the other side, 866-582-9933. Marine Corporal Michael Cadilli woke as he heard the truck rumble past. He opened his eyes, but saw nothing. It was the middle of the night, and he was face down in the sands of western Iraq. His loaded M16 was pinned beneath him. Cataldi had no idea how he'd gotten to where he now lay, some 200 meters from the dilapidated building where his buddy slept. But he suspected what caused this nightmare. His Klonopin prescription had run out. His ordeal was all that remarkable for a person on the anti-anxiety medication. In the lengthy labeling that accompanies each prescription, Klonopin users are warned against abruptly stopping the medicine, since doing so can cause psychosis, hallucinations, and other symptoms. The headline of this article, U.S. military heavily armed and heavily medicated. Oh. I mean, it just goes on and on and on about how drugged up our soldiers are. And remember, when they get back, they're going to use these drugs and these things they've been diagnosed with, PTSD and others, and other things, to strip them of their rights to bear arms. See, they don't want you to have guns when you get back. Bet you that's a real kick in the arnis, eh, military? In other words, thousands of American fighters armed with the latest killing technology are taking prescription drugs that the Federal Aviation Administration considers too dangerous for commercial pilots. Military officials say they believe many medications can be safely used on the battlefield. They say they have policies to ensure that drugs they consider inappropriate for soldiers on the front lines are rarely used. See, they admit they use all the drugs, but they say, don't worry. We're considering what we're doing. We have regulations. We only use those drugs in some cases. Really? You know, I got to tell you, there's this guy out in Colorado. He talked about how they were juicing him up with drugs, how it made him go crazy, how it made him more aggressive, and he was the guy deciding on where they were going to bomb that day. So it drove him insane. It made him super paranoid. But it's okay. That's what we want to do. We want a drugged up army. Give me a break. Final segment of the InfoWarrior coming up after this. Infowars.com, prisonplanet.tv.